Apple has been forced to halt sales of some smartwatches in the US. The tech giant said Monday that the move affected its top-end Series 9 and Ultra 2 models. It comes amid a patent dispute over technology that allows the watches to measure blood oxygen levels. US watchdogs have said that violates rights belonging to medical technology firm Masimo. In October, the US International Trade Commission said it could bar Apple from importing the watches as a result. That decision is now under review by President Joe Biden. If he doesn't overturn it, the ban will go into effect on December 26th. Apple says it's taking steps to comply already, with the affected watches to go off sale before Christmas. Lower-priced models that don't feature the blood oxygen sensor aren't affected, and all versions will remain available outside the US. Massimo boss Joe Chiani has said he's open to a deal. In October, he told CNBC that he was ready to negotiate with Apple. The iPhone maker says Massimo's moves are just a maneuver to clear a space in the market for its own competing smartwatch.
A downturn in Eurozone business activity surprisingly deepened in December. The data from closely watched surveys suggests the bloc's economy is almost certainly in recession. It was a broad-based decline, with activity worse in Germany and France across services and manufacturing. Official data has shown the Eurozone economy contracted 0.1% last quarter. December's Purchasing Managers' Index, or PMI, showed activity has now declined in every month of this quarter. That would mark 2 consecutive quarters of economic contraction, which meets the technical definition of a recession. The PMI fell to 47.0 this month from November's 47.6, against analyst expectations of an improvement. It also marked its 7th month below the key 50 level. Anything below 50 is seen as contraction, while above that represents growth. The downturn worsened in Germany, pointing to a recession in Europe's biggest economy. Activity also fell faster than expected in France. The data comes just a day after the European Central Bank cut its growth forecasts for this year and next. On Thursday, the ECB left interest rates on hold and pushed back against bets on cuts in the near future.
We actually recently installed some new arms on our humanoid robot Nadia that were built by Boardwalk, and thought to ourselves, what better way to test them than with robot boxing?
Come on, cut! React!
What we're really looking towards is making robots that can start doing some of the dangerous tasks that we currently rely on people to do. Things like bomb disposal, nuclear cleanup, disaster response. By making these kind of immersive telepresence interfaces, we think that you can leverage the human cognitive capability on the robot while still allowing the human to be in a safe place.
Tesla is recalling just over 2 million vehicles in the United States. It's to install new safeguards for vehicles carrying its Autopilot advanced driver assistance system. The electric vehicle giant made the move after a safety regulator said the system was open to foreseeable misuse. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA, has investigated Tesla for more than 2 years. He wanted to know whether its vehicles adequately ensured drivers pay attention when using the driver assistance system. Tesla said in the recall filing that Autopilot's software system controls may not be sufficient to prevent driver misuse and could increase the risk of a crash. Tesla's Autopilot is intended to enable cars to steer, accelerate and brake automatically within their lane. Enhanced Autopilot can assist in changing lanes on highways but does not make them autonomous. Tesla said it did not agree with the regulator's analysis, but added it would deploy an over-the-air software update. It said this will incorporate additional controls and alerts to those already existing on affected vehicles. The aim is to encourage the driver to stick to their continuous driving responsibility whenever auto steer is engaged. The company did not respond to a question on whether the recall would be performed outside the US. NHTSA opened a probe in 2021 into Autopilot after identifying more than a dozen crashes in which Tesla vehicles hit stationary emergency vehicles. Its investigation into Autopilot will remain open as it monitors Tesla's remedies. Apple has reportedly made a major move to settle EU antitrust charges and fight off a possible big fine. Sources say the US tech giant has offered to let rivals access its tap-and-go mobile payment system used for mobile wallets. Last year, EU regulators charged Apple with curbing access to its tap-and-go technology called Near-Field Communication, or NFC. That made it difficult for rivals to develop services on Apple devices. The NFC chip enables tap-and-go payments on iPhones and iPads. The EU watchdog further argued this helped Apple's own mobile wallet solution, Apple Pay, and pointed to its dominance in the smart mobile market. The sources said the European Commission will likely look for feedback next month from rivals and customers, and regulators will then decide whether to accept Apple's offer. The EU watchdog declined to comment, while Apple was not immediately available for comment. Apple Pay is used by more than 2,500 banks in Europe. Apple also faces a second charge of stopping Spotify and other music streaming sites from informing users of other buying options outside its App Store. The Commission is expected to issue a decision next year. Companies risk fines of up to 10% of their global annual turnover if found guilty of breaching EU antitrust rules.